This is one of the world's shortest AR-15s with only 1 inch of rifling in its barrel. We'll be taking it to the range to test its muzzle velocity, accuracy, and whether the rounds just tumble out of the barrel. We'll also be testing it unsuppressed as well as suppressed, all while comparing this short AR with a 1 inch rifled barrel to an original one with a 20-inch barrel. To even further test its accuracy, we'll even try it with this magnified optic. And once we're done testing both of them at the range, we're gonna do some redneck New Hampshire wood shooting because ranges won't let you do some of the more fun stuff. Fun stuff like shooting fruit with hollow points or using rapid fire. And at the end, we'll even do a shooting contest and show you a golf ball launcher. Here's the AR up close. It's got sort of a pirate theme with its fire select saying parlay, plunder, or R. None of our testing of these two guns is actually gonna be too scientific, but we're just trying to have fun at the range. So why did you make this?
Because I thought it was funny. In all honesty, this came out of spite. I wanted something that would produce the most muzzle flash, the most concussion I possibly could. So we made a custom 1 inch rifle barrel. I found the most obnoxious muzzle brake I could. And then to top it all off, I figured I'd make it extra small. So it's really just for a laugh.
So one thing I think people will be wondering is why yours doesn't have a buffer tube like this ARP here. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so the reason why mine doesn't have a buffer tube on the outside of the firearm like you see here is the entirety of this is filled with a spring and you get your buffer. What mine is this bolt is actually cut in half. It doesn't travel all the way down to the back like you would find on a traditional AR. Instead, there's 2 springs inside that kind of travel down the bolt a little bit. They stop right about here. And then there's a much larger spring that goes pretty much all the way to the back of this. So instead of having it all outside, it pretty much moves it right to the inside.
So now that we've covered all that, let's get to the range. You say a few words just as a test?
Michael Jackson.
First, we're gonna do an accuracy test with this short AR with this 4x optic, and then we'll do the same thing but with the 20-inch AR. It is to the high and to the left, I can see it. So this should be more center. Clear.
2, 4, 6, 8.
So now Dan's gonna try a 30-meter accuracy test with this 20-inch AR, which is way too close, but we're trying to make it comparable.
So we got, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Little extra ammo.
Yeah, I think the grassy knoll sniper was assisting us. But this is also zeroed for 100 yards, you know, because 20-inch barrel and all that. So, yeah, still a little low, but obviously that can be compensated. A lot tighter grouping, so, yeah.
So next we're gonna try a 30-meter accuracy test with no brace and just the carry handle sight. Not sure if I'll hit anything, but we'll see. And after that, we're gonna do a muzzle velocity test, and then we'll compare its velocity to the 20-inch AR. No brace, carry handle sight. Let's see if we can hit anything. All this clar. I mean, he's dead at least.
Dead.
After that terrible performance, we're gonna test its velocity on a chronograph and also on the 20-inch AR. Firing. So out of the 1-inch rifled barrel, it averaged about 1,730 feet per second. So out of the 20-inch AR, it averaged around 3145 feet per second, which is nearly double of what the 1-inch AR was doing. Dan with the loud insert.
What was that?
So that bottle rocket muzzle device, the thing I called the loud insert, proved a little bit too loud for a range. So we're gonna head to a property where we can do more of the fun stuff that a range wouldn't allow us to do. As you saw, we didn't get too much accuracy out of that tiny little AR, but that was to be expected. The total barrel length in that short AR was only 3.5 inches. However, 1 3/4 of an inch was just for the rifle's casing. Another 3/4 of an inch is for the chamber key, leaving only 1 inch of actual rifled barrel that the bullet passes through. We had a hard time even zeroing the thing, but at least the bullets didn't tumble out. So let's get to the fun stuff. So we found a place to shoot. First thing we're gonna do is a sound decibel test with both firearms, a little watermelon explosion test, and at the end we'll have a little shooting contest. Before we do the sound decibel test, I thought we used some fun toys. This here is a golf ball launcher, and that is a soda can launcher, both using blanks to propel the object.
Oh, you got a mister.
Mountain Dew. I got Mountain Dew in my eyes.
Jeez, those got some hang time, huh?
Oh. Mortar team.
All right, evicting SpongeBob.
For the sound decibel test, we'll be shooting both firearms 2 to 3 times, both unsuppressed and then suppressed. So the average with the short AR with a regular muzzle brake is about 113 decibels. So the short AR with a suppressor had an average sound decibel of 94.5, which is much quieter.
Ready to fire.
So out of the 20-inch AR, Dan shot 3 rounds and had an average sound decibel of 102.8. So Dan firing 3 rounds out of the 20-inch AR suppressed had an average sound decibel of 96. For the fruit explosion test, we're going to be shooting watermelon and pineapple using open-tipped FTX 5.56 rounds out of this short AR. So we're gonna do a quick shooting contest here with pretty simple rules. There are 20 water bottles, 10 red and 10 blue. We'll have 15 rounds in about 15 seconds to shoot all 10 of your color, and then you hit the watermelon to win. So we're gonna do 2 rounds of this, and the 2 losers are gonna have to pay for dinner.
Shooters, ready, fire. Sight this in for you.
Did someone hit the watermelon or no?
Oh, he didn't blow up like I wanted.
Shooters, ready, fire. Blue, hit it,
God damn it.
You got one more there.
So it looks like I'm paying for dinner. I lost the competition. We meant to use this short AR versus the 20-inch AR. However, it ended up being too unfair, so we went 20-inch and 20-inch. Forgot to zero my optic, and that ended up screwing me pretty bad. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and follow my Instagram at master.beto. Have a good day.